Right, so it looks like the post Love Island's, drama, events, situationships, whatever you want to call it, are beginning to take place with, articles saying that Tanyel and Zara are shading Olivia. Olivia's hitting out in an interview, and just a general discussion with this season. Hey guys, it's Rob. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Back and again, it is daily and consistent content, and let's get straight into this video. Injected daily and consistent, baby. So Olivia has basically hit out in an interview to basically express the fact that the social media ban on these islanders is pointless. It doesn't really render anything, and that she still received a lot of hateful messages in her DMs under the comments of old pictures, and they find that to be frustrating, she said, and doesn't think that the social media rule really helped. I do think that a lot of these islanders are really annoyed by the fact that the social media ban really played its part. It really was effective in reducing the amount of followers coming to these accounts. Did it reduce the hate? Potentially, because there's less posts, but I don't think it really reduced the hate, because you can easily just comment on old posts or go into the DMs. I don't understand the social media rule. It's meant to be less stress in the families, which it is, as she says, but it's also more stress for her to deal with. So it will be interesting now if they backtrack on this rule for summer, but I don't think Love Island will. I think that will stay like this, because in this way, it's like the show can continue to benefit, but the islanders really can't once they come out, because this whole new rule is really reducing the amount of followers that these islanders are getting. So she's completely hitting out on the hate that she's been received, and she says the beef with anybody in the villa has been squashed from her side, and that she has no intention to carry on that beef. She also reacts to Kai and Sanam winning with a little caption saying, "I'm glad that I'm happy for them," or whatever. Maybe she is happy for them, guys. Maybe she's not, and maybe she's a bit bitter, which would make sense. Everybody has emotions and feelings, whether we agree with them or not. Who knows? Who cares, guys? Ain't that serious to me? Ain't that deep to me? Maybe she does have feelings. She probably does. She still has feelings for Kai, so she probably is a bit bitter that he's won with somebody else, and she probably wishes that was her. But that is basically what she's, she reacts. Now, reports are saying, the tab and etc., that Zara and Tanyel are shading Olivia because they put up a TikTok, with the caption of the song. I'm not saying it's right, but God's timing is always right. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, or God's timing is always right. Something like that thing, whatever that whole song is. They put that on the TikTok when Kai won with Sanam, basically saying that Olivia was meant to be that girl, but she's not. LMAO, whatever. That's what the articles are taking it at, and they are in the headlines for it. So I hope that this somewhat sets a precedent for the reunion to come this Sunday. I really hope it does, because the last year's reunion was absolutely diabolical. It was awful. I was shocked. I was in tears. It was a lot. So hopefully with this reunion, we actually get some kind of substance and depth. And you would think that they would, because Maya Jama's involved, but I don't think it's the hosts, presenters' fault. Production have their own way of doing it, and they just have their own way of doing it, guys, and that's just really it. So we'll see. I'm very much interested in seeing the reunion, because it'll be interesting to see how India and Sam are going to implement themselves in the reunion as co-presenters alongside Maya Jama, and the questions that are going to be asked. Who's going to be in the firing line? How is it going to be set? We'll just see. Hopefully it's definitely, I'm hoping it's I don't want it to be an improvement from last year's reunion. I want it to be a genuine upgrade, huge amounts. I want it to be something that is enjoyable. There's drama, there's salaciousness, there's, a sister and brotherhood of these islanders that come together at the end. That is what you kind of want to see, a combination of all. That's what makes a great reunion. But, we'll just see if we're going to get that. But, this kind of bubbling under drama that we're seeing of shade towards Olivia, or Olivia's upset with XYZ, or whatever's going on, and then you have Will and Jesse at the farm together doing their TikToks or whatever. Hopefully all of this just sets a precedent of how the reunion is going to be, and who's going to be questioned and asked stuff, what's going to happen with, certain islanders normally always get shifted to the end, don't really, they're placed in the corner, they're not really asked any questions, because of course they don't have a big impact. So that is also interesting to see, because maybe that will be different this time, who knows. So my eyes are looking forward to this reunion. I'm not going to give any reunion ideas, because I feel like at this point I'm not going to give any of my island ideas, because I feel like even the All-Stars that is happening, and more islanders I know of now are being approached, because they're coming to me asking for, I've been approached, and I'm having these conversations about it. But I just feel like my idea of what All-Stars would just be a huge flip. Sorry, I'm just throwing loads of Love Island topics into this video to make it a long 8-minute video so you guys can enjoy it. Do we think that this Love Island season is a fail? It's interesting because I was doing some research and reading some articles in relation to what PR companies are saying and their response to this season, what they think of it. And a lot of them are speaking on the fact that going on Love Island in this day and age now is more of a risk than a benefit, which I find to be very interesting, where, you know, the days of becoming a Danny Dyer, Olivia Atwood, Molly May, India, Ekansu, Tasha, I feel like is number one, long gone, and number two, extremely hard to achieve. Because if it's still around now, you will only get a few people who can achieve that, such as Tasha, Ekansu, and albeit, in my personal opinion, I feel like India is the it girl of Love Island 2022. I feel like she is the most successful girl from the season. That's just my personal opinion. You guys may disagree, but I feel like these three girls are doing what needs to be done. And Davide as well. So I feel like it's really long gone and hard to achieve. But one PR company person said something very interesting. Edward Coram James, CEO of a PR agency, says it is correct to say that reality TV shows have a shelf life before they decline in popularity. But it is simply far too early to tell whether at this point in time if that is happening with Love Island. When this does happen, we tend to see a gradual linear decline in numbers taking place over a number of years. We tend to not see such a pronounced drop between series. Such punctuated drops often point to other issues. In this instance, I would be more inclined to believe that this season will end up being an anomaly, probably caused by the producers getting a few elements wrong. There has simply not been enough time for viewers to regain their appetite for the show, which is usually why producers give a year's breathing space between reality TV series. Miss Freeman, whose firm does PR for the likes of Spotify, Disney, Adidas, said, you know, some of these people are expected to make 2 to 5K per paid post, but they would have to work for it in this day and age, and that they would be able to get less brand deals than, you know, becoming an influencer outright away from Love Island. And that someone like Will played a very dangerous game, a dangerous risk, because he already was a successful influencer, content creator, TikToker before even going into the show. So you now going into the show and being associated with Love Island, is that going to cheapen or dampen your brand? And the brands that you are going to get, are they only going to be limited into a box that you can't see? And he could have gone in there and, you know, he could have got a really bad edit and it could have messed up things for him anyways to an extent, despite him having a following. So that I find to be very interesting as well in this day and age. For example, Soho House. I have a Soho House membership. If you know what Soho House is, you know, it's for creatives, it's a space. You know, the houses are all over the world. You can have a membership. Soho House have a rule where they don't let anyone who is a Love Islander get a membership. You can't get a membership if you are a Love Islander. I said that in the wrong way. I've spoken to Islanders. I'm like, oh, do you have one? They're like, nope, they won't give it to us because we've been on the show. So there are a lot of different companies and platforms that won't give you XYZ because of your link to a reality TV show. No matter how successful you are as well, let alone to not being successful, there is that limitation that comes from the show, and that is also increasing. But I think that the PR company's quote from this guy is interesting, that is this the end of Love Island is too soon to tell, and that a significant drop from a successful season to this one doesn't really reflect the fact that it's failing, but that this season is an anomaly. And I think that, you know, anomaly seasons are the Love Island winter ones always, but this one of course is far worse, and I think it's because of the breathing space. We can't breathe. We feel like Love Island's everywhere. It's starting again in 8 weeks. So I think the Love Island summer one is going to be slightly better, but also just the same as this, because we haven't had enough time breathing space, and Love Island 2024 is going to be the better season of the show. That is going to be better. That is going to be something to watch, that people want to watch. That is what the girls are going to be, because we've had the year breathing space. So it's just interesting when it comes to that perspective, and I wanted to just speak about that. And the following counts. None of these islanders who've come out are even touching 350k, 300k. So of course that will change maybe for Sanam, whose followers have increased massively to 250,000. I think once she begins posting, probably a few more, couple 100,000, maybe half a million, at the max. But 500,000 is what any Love Island winter contestant would have gotten from the last Love Island winter. So it's wild how I do think that there is a decline. I do think there is a decline when it comes to this Love Island show. And I think that's more so related to the followings that these contestants are getting, because the show really isn't on a steep decline, because season 8 was a repeat. We witnessed a repeat for that season and it massively declined. And I feel like the summer season is the make it or break it to have this kind of projection of whether the show is declining that way. So we'll just see what happens, but I wanted to just put everything into a hot topic kind of conversation about everything related to what's going on. And my eyes are peeled for the reunion, which is happening this Sunday at 9 p.m, just to see, you know, what it's going to bring, and hopefully it's definitely something that is enjoyable. All the islanders are out now, they've got their phones, they're seeing all their messages, they will spot at the airports, and etc, etc. So we'll just see what these islanders do when it comes to work and brand deals, because they only have 4 weeks, guys. They only have 8 weeks. They have 2 months to get to work. 2 months to get their phones and get to work, because once the teasers start for the next season, it's going to be game over for a lot of people, unfortunately. So I really hope that, you know, I know they're going to feel a lot of stress and pressure on themselves, but hopefully they just maneuver in ways that are careful and are intelligent. So we'll just see. But comment down below on who you think is, or who you want to be, or who you're looking forward to see Islanders, and what you think they want to do. I honestly see someone like Will presenting, and I see him somewhere like on a kids show, CBBS, something like that. I feel like it's a bag, and I feel like I see him there. So hopefully he does something like that. But yeah, just a quick conversation on any kind of post Love Island drama that's going on between people, or shade. Conversation of the following counts. You know, is the season a fail? Is the season a flop? For me, I think this is the worst season of Love Island. I think this season is a flop, 110%, and I think it is an absolute fail completely, and we are going to completely forget all of these Islanders this time next year. Absolutely, to be honest with you. And has it had iconic moments this season? Yes, it has had a few iconic moments. The community P line from Zara, Tanyel, Tanya, you know, with the speech with Martin, that was great as well. The Casamore episode was a good episode, guys. So it has had good points, but I think that this is the worst season. The first Love Island winter season was watched by 1.5 million more people. It never even went below 1 million. That was watched a lot. So for me personally, I think it is, because the memorable characters from the first Love Island winter were actually kept in. They weren't dumped early on either. So I feel like a lot of these Islanders from this season are probably regretting it. There's that space and vacuum now where a lot of these Islanders have actually left their jobs, from what I know of, removed themselves from their jobs in order to put themselves in this place as an investment. And it hasn't gone their way because they didn't expect this huge decline in viewing ratings, because they all watched season 8. They watched the success of Ekansu in India. They watched all of that. And now they've come to expecting the same, and have come out saying, whoa, like the ratings are really low. Like, why is my XYZ, the social media ban following? Like it's all just, it's like a different game. So, whoo. Anyways, let me know your thoughts are when it comes to this review, whether you guys agree or disagree. Comment down below, and I'll catch you guys soon for another review discussion.